And after that, if you remember that we are creating our face toolpath and contour toolpath. After that, let me turn to the mill toolpath and then high speed. Actually, you can see that 3D high speed toolpath and area roughing. Okay, so we need to select our face. We can use the right mouse button on this line and then select entities, and after that you can see here this is the face selection is active right now. I'm gonna turn back to body selection, and then we can select all our body, and then I can hit the end section. So this is my wall stock actually, and then you can also see the floor stock here. Let me write here 0.5 and as a floor stock 0.5. And then let me turn to the actually toolpath control. In the toolpath control we can organize our boundary. So this is gonna be my and the boundary. We can hit the OK button, and then we can prefer to use from outside options as a strategy. This part is quite important. That's also going to help us to enter our product and from outside. So and then we can prefer to use the center of and relation with my tool center and my boundary. My tool center must be on the actually and my boundary on my boundary. So that's also quite important parts. So after that, it's also and allow our tool to enter the from outside, of course. So after that, let me turn to the tool section. This is gonna be my tool actually. We can write our feed rate, and then we can write our and cutting speed. And then let me turn to the cut parameters. I prefer to use conventional machining. We can prefer to use open contour direction can be zigzag. And then step down parameters actually can be 2 millimeter. Okay, we can prefer to use the 2 millimeter. And then we can also activate add cut parameters. We can use the minimum step down 0.4 millimeter. If you intend to use the maximum profile step over, for example, it can be 4. And then this is going to be my step over. And then when we turn to the trochodial motion, it's not necessary for this case, so I can cancel it. And then we can turn to here. If you intend to organize your zap tab, you can also organize your zap tab here. But at that point, actually, my boundary here is also gonna help us to actually not cut under this point. So then this point is and also gonna help us to organize our actually depth. You can also use that kind of stuff to organize your and maximum depth position. And after that, let me turn to the linking parameters. It can be 5 millimeter with clearance plane, and then we can use all that stuff here. This is the actually and the linear entry and exit and linear lead out position maybe can be and 1 millimeter. Okay, so I think that's enough. Let me hit OK button. So our toolpath is calculated like this. You can also see all that stuff here. Okay, if you intend to organize your and retract position, okay, we can use the minimum vertical retract options. Let me recalculate my toolpath again, and you're gonna see that kind of stuff here. This is the minimum retract approach. So this is the actually roughing process. So let me turn to the properties and stock setup. And we can prefer to use from bounding box options. And then actually according to this section, I need to hit manual selection, and then we can select our body. And according to my body and my boundary is created. Of course, in that case, you need to be careful about to on your 3D axis. I'm gonna turn back here. We can turn to the manual selection and select our solid and hit the OK button. Okay, it's done. So after that, let me turn to the actually solid verification. Okay, it's ready right now. And then let me turn here. So you can see all the stuff here. I think 2 millimeters is good for us, but we can also organize our and the step over distance for add cuts parameters. You can see that high level for scallop height here. This is our scallop height. So after that we can turn to here, and then we can turn to the cut parameters, and add cuts options can be 0.1 considering and 1 millimeter step over actually. So let me recalculate my toolpath again. And then it is calculating right now. Okay, so that's quite cool toolpath, I think. Okay, let me check my verification. You're gonna hit that button, and then actually it's also possible to see and end of the section. Actually, you just need to hit that button and stop your toolpath, and then hit that button, and then you're gonna see the final solution. When we focus on the final solution, you're gonna see that this part, the adding part, is quite important. So if you don't want to use that kind of stuff, actually, that's also gonna help you to get actually and homogeneous and uncut chip thickness for your finishing process. You're gonna see that all that and the steps can be recalculated here and according to my step over. So that's gonna and after that process, maybe you can easily use your scallop toolpath actually. Okay, but it's also possible to make that stuff actually unselect. Okay, that's also possible to not add any add cuts, and then you can calculate your toolpath, and then maybe you can also add some contour toolpath for and the remachining process. Okay, both of them is okay. I prefer to use and the second options. Okay, I don't want to use any and process for that part. Okay, we should also, maybe it's also possible to change our tool actually. I can use the create tool options, and then we can prefer to use bowl and mill. Okay, and it can be 60 millimeter and the width radius 2, for example, or radius 3 maybe. And then we can easily calculate our toolpath. I don't want to use any stock recognition or remachining process. we can activate that stuff here, and then we can calculate our toolpath according to that step over. So let me calculate my toolpath, and it's done. So we're gonna see that's kind of and roughing process. I think that's cool. And after that, we can easily create our actually contour toolpath after our roughing process.